Welcome to Mindset Mastery Moments, the podcast dedicated to helping you unlock your full potential through the power of mindset. Join Dr. Alisa Whyte, a transformative creator and multi-award-winning trailblazer, as she guides you on a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. With a background in corporate leadership and workforce development, Dr. Alisa has dedicated her career to inspiring individuals to achieve their goals and dreams. Known as the #1 mindset disruptor, she firmly believes that the key to success lies within the mind. Dr. Whyte has witnessed the incredible impact a shift in mindset can have on one's life, career, and relationships. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just beginning your journey of self-discovery, you'll find valuable lessons, inspiring stories, and practical tools to elevate your life. In each episode, Dr. Alisa engages with thought leaders, coaches, and changemakers from around the globe, exploring their journeys and the mindsets that have propelled them to success. Get ready to reframe your perspective, embrace challenges, and cultivate the mindset necessary to achieve your dreams. Now let's dive into today's episode and discover how to master your mindset for a brighter, more fulfilling future.
Hello, Disruptors, and we're back with another phenomenal guest. Awesome episode with transformational information. I'm yours truly, Dr. Alisa Whyte, and I cannot wait for you to meet our next guest. We have the privilege of having a phenomenal, outstanding woman from the beautiful country of Singapore. Yep, it is evening where I'm at and it's morning where she's at, but we are together on the Mindset Mastery Moments platform. Today, my guest, she is a dynamic leader coach who has made a significant strides in her fields of leadership development and personal growth. And you all know that this podcast is all about personal growth and development, and we love when we get to speak directly into the lives and mindsets of leaders. She has been working in the field with wealth of experience in guiding professionals to break through mental barriers and achieve their highest potentials. My guest today is passionate about helping others transform their mindsets and lead more fulfilling life. She has worked with diverse range of clients, from individuals seeking personal growth to organizations aiming to peak performance. Her unique approach blends deep insight with practical strategies, making her sought after speaker, coach, and mentor all around the globe. Nancy Ho, we are most honored to have you here in Mindset Mastery Moments. Let's have your beautiful face and uplifting spirit come to the microphone.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Alisa Whyte. What a great introduction. I'm so honored.
Well, you are such an amazing lady. You're fabulous. So from sister to sister, the fabulosity is so important, and I love it. You have been in some really wonderful spaces, Jack Canfield, even with Dr. Phil, and some very well-noted individuals. Your work and what you bring to the world has brought you all over, and you've impacted so many lives. So just in your own words, tell us who you are and what you do.
As you mentioned, Nancy Ho, aka as also known as Happy Nancy.
I love it. She really is.
Yeah. I'm from Singapore. So-called born, breed in Singapore, although my tertiary education is in Switzerland and London. And I'm kind of like, from a very young age, right? My late dad has given me the best programming that I got to be out there and shine forth. Whatever that means. I mean, okay, I was so little. How would he knew, right? He could foresee that.
Mm-hmm.
But that became really the best programming I could any person could have, let alone me.
Yes.
So I'm always like, progressive. I want to do more, have more. And I do not necessarily means that it's just material thing.
Yes.
But I'm never like
impact.
Satisfied. Yes, it's like, I'm never satisfied. This is enough. Okay. Good, as I will always use the term, good is never good enough.
Ah.
And I do not mean we are not good enough.
Right.
I mean that. Okay. I mean, good is never good enough. That means,
you can always do more. You can always be
Correct.
more. You can always have more.
Correct.
You can always impact more. Yes, I get it.
Yeah. I'm a relatively good cook, and I do a lot of fusion food. And then whenever I host it, right, and they go, yeah, it's great. Yeah, I like it. Thank you. But it's
Yes.
always going, can be better. And the can be better means like I put my mind and soul, like, be innovative, be creative
Yes.
in that sense of
So
do
you keep
more,
challenging
more.
yourself. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if
Not
you
being
don't do that, you wouldn't know where you would never, you want to, we have so much potential as a human, right? And
that's
if
right.
we're just always happy with last performance, then we don't get better. We don't never really stretch, and we can push ourselves and realize, oh, there's more to go. There's more
Right.
to innovate. There's more to create.
Exactly. Exactly. And there are two things I often say, especially in my coaching. All right, said be satisfied, but do not be contented.
Ooh.
Yeah. But people tend to twist this that
Ah.
I'm contented, but I'm not satisfied. That's no good.
So tell
Be
us, what is your definition of the two?
Yes, correct. Be satisfied as like, the gratitude. I'm satisfied with who I am, where I am now, what I have, the people that I serve, the people that loves me, whatever. Okay, all that, even,
Yes.
otherwise. So I'm
Yes.
satisfied. So I have that sense of gratitude.
Yes. Okay.
I'm never contented. Like I said, good is never good enough.
Right.
So some people may use the contented become an excuse not to do more, but
Mm,
they're satisfied inside. Now, if someone is truly contented and satisfied, perfectly fine.
yes.
But contrary to the fact, it's not. Now, do not mix up contented and contentment. Contentment,
Ah,
yes, contentment to me is satisfaction.
yes.
Yeah, contented is like, I don't need to do more, I'm done.
Right.
I mean,
I'm
it's
contented.
like,
Like I'm,
yeah,
let's think here. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I'm done.
contentment is gratitude.
Yes, yes.
Ah, that is words for the wise. I
Yes.
have not thought about it. I'm pretty sure I use it that way, but never really sat with them
Mm,
side by side and realized that many misuse the word.
correct,
And
correct.
and sometimes, do you feel that we do that intentionally? Not, I don't want to say intentionally. We do that not understanding the meaning of the word, or do you think we use it because we really feel these things?
But I guess different people, I can't say like, everyone, but I
Right.
suppose like sometimes they, some people fear of failure,
Yeah.
even people at the top can also psychologically have that fear of failure,
Yes. I agree.
right? It's not only people that are not at top. I mean, of course, it disguised in different form.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
sometimes by saying, okay, that I am contented, so I don't do more and I don't look bad.
Ah, that's so true. Wow.
Yeah.
You've already disrupted her mindset. Already, right out the gate, she came in with a disruption. That is why we call ourselves the disruptors. And when you come to the show, you are going to disrupt our mindset. And Nancy is delivered in the first 5 minutes. Let me say, this is going to be an outstanding episode. So, Nancy, what inspired you to embark on the journey of helping individuals elevate their mindset and achieve their goals? What made you want to do that? And
As I mentioned, yeah, as I mentioned earlier on, right? It's the program that I had from my late dad.
yeah.
I mean, I only had him for 3 years of my life. Now,
Ah,
whenever I say that, people tend to go like, "Oh no," I said, "No, no, it's the best 3 years and definitely the foundation years."
yes.
I literally, from the time I was in my mom's tummy, so to
Yes.
speak,
Right.
my mom's womb, that he already come home, that would talk to me when I'm still in my mom's womb, all
Yes.
right, and all the lovey-dovey and what have you, all right?
Yes.
To the time that I was born and he was always with me, I was sitting on his lap, so I always, to me, the image of dad is a big guy. Of course, I'm small, he's big, but he is big.
So
He's
he's
even
always
bigger, right?
big as you look up.
He's a big guy, and all that positive programming, the best I could say, positive programming. Of course, then people look at me like, how can you remember? You're so young, right? But I say, first thing first, I do not remember the words, but I definitely feel the energy.
Yes.
Energy, right? The
Energy's
transference of
with
the
you.
energy.
Yes.
So, of course, of course, the family then keep repeating these words to me.
Yes.
Right? Daddy loves you so much and he believes in you and he knows that you're going to be a star, you're going to shine. And it's been repeated to me by my family. But energetically, I don't know how to explain. I feel it.
You know him because he bonded
Yes,
with you very well with
correct.
intention, not knowing the time he had, but it was in divine order that
Right.
you created that bond that was responsible for you. So, can you tell us a little bit more about your specific approach when you're approaching transformational leadership and helping individuals in a leadership space really overcome their mental barriers that they might have? And how has that really been going? Like, what have you learned? How have you helped them?
Sure. First, I believed that we have to get to the root cause
Mm,
and not deal with things that are superficial.
come on
I
now.
mean, yeah, if it's something that's superficial, everybody can read about it, Google it, ChatGPT, and what have you, right? It's all out
Right.
there, right? But how
Yes.
is it that we still, so-called we still, all right, cannot just take those information alone?
Nope.
Yep. I was doing my coaching last night in my group. And I said, the first thing all of you have to do, and I'm going around asking everyone, what are your 1, 2, or 3 mistakes that you've been making?
Yeah.
Now, sounded as if like, hey, I started on such a negative note. I said, no. If you do not know your mistakes, how are you going to correct anything?
Right.
So
Wow.
likewise with the root cause.
Root cause.
If I don't know what caused, let's say, my fear of XYZ,
Right.
root cause. But
Yes.
I think XYZ is due to something superficial outside of
Right.
us.
Right.
We're not fixing the right thing. All right. I started golf. And so people start asking me, so, oh, do you enjoy the game? I said, I don't know. I just had like 5 or 6 lessons.
Right.
So are you passionate about it? I said, how can I tell you I'm passionate about it? I mean, it's funny how people would want to, control the outcome and just,
Yes.
I'm like, hello,
Just
then why,
enjoy the journey.
yeah, then why are you doing it if you're not passionate or you're not enjoying? I said, first thing first, why I decide after, so I did golf long time ago, but the motivation was
Yes.
not correct. Was not, I
Exactly.
was young then, I was in my 20s, okay? The motivation was because the golf instructor was really damn good looking, Wrong motivation.
But you have to start somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I know. So I'm very transparent, I say as it is. All right.
Yes,
So
we both do.
yeah. Okay. So wrong motivation. Okay, never mind. I left it, and then years later, right? Much later. I'm 60 years old now. Okay. Then one day I sat back. That was just about a month plus ago. I said I want to do something challenging.
Yeah.
Sure, business and all that can be challenging, but it's kind of like I
It's
knew.
a mundane. It's norm for us now. Yeah.
Yeah. Even something happened, we still not fix. I said no. I want something really, really challenging. So, but first, I must know what I'm not willing to do.
Yes.
So many people quit because they just plunge into it and not realizing what they're not willing to do. So it's the same note, what I'm just saying about root cause, what I'm saying, the mistakes that we make and what we are not willing to do. It all sounds so negative, but it's not.
It's not.
It's
You have
not.
to know.
Real.
You don't
It's
go
very
down. You don't go somewhere you haven't thought about.
correct.
Never gonna arrive.
Correct. So what I'm not willing to do is spend a lot of time away.
Mm.
So the scuba diving crossed my mind. I said, no. Because in Singapore, the sea isn't much to look at. Nothing
Okay.
covers, right? So I know of people that does scuba diving. They will spend like a week away.
They have to leave the country.
Yes, they leave the country. All right, they take long weekends for, or there's a holiday that's over the weekend. Plus the weekday. I'm not going to do that.
You're not, that's not the kind of adventure you're doing.
Yeah, correct, correct. So if I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to be able to sustain. So I'm just going to pick it up for the fun,
Yes.
quit. So I said, all right, I want challenging. And I'm not very good at balls. I'm not very good at follow through. I know that. But I
Yeah.
want it challenging. All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm willing to spend, all right, if I do get to the greens, a few hours, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Weeks, no. At least even a week, no. So as I said, not that I'm good at it. The first lesson, I actually told that golf instructor, I said, okay, if I'm hopeless, we stop here. Yeah, why waste his time?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
why waste his time? If I'm completely hopeless, tell me, be candid. So again,
Yeah.
it's kind of getting to the root of things, right?
Yeah.
Then okay, after this is you're not all that bad. Okay. Not
Exactly.
fantastic, of course, but again, it's
It's not that
doable.
bad. Yeah, it's doable.
It
Yeah.
just takes time and patience and work on it. So
Exactly.
the next case, right? So what am I doing? What I have been doing all this time is that I'm mindful of the mistake that I make.
Oh,
So then I can correct it,
right. Exactly.
right? And it's not about forcefully, keep wanting to get it right, get it right, get it right. Sure, I want to get it right. I want to get the
Right.
swing. I want to get the
But you're
follow
going
through
to
right.
learn through it.
Yes,
Learn,
but
bro.
I got to know as I went to the range yesterday and practice, and I'm like, okay, now I know where my mistakes. So later in the afternoon, I have my lessons. Then I'm going to tell the instructor, oh, these are my mistakes.
Yeah.
Please help me to correct.
Right.
Transformation, isn't it?
It's transformational.
Yeah.
So I love that, because if that's applied to, that can be applied to pretty much any parts of our
Mhm.
life. And
Correct.
one of my most recent guests is Hillary Silver. She mentions it in another way, where she talks about being self-centered. And everyone hears the word self-centered, they think about being a selfish person who just takes and takes. The way she defined it is understanding that you are the reason for the problem and you are the reason for the solution.
Correct.
So the buck stops and starts with you, but we can't figure out how to fix the problem if we're not willing to find the root of the problem. Because a lot of us see the problem and we have it on a superficial base, as you said. It's today I was working with my clients on campus and in coaching, group coaching, and I said, how many people are afraid of this career change that they're about to make? And I had about 50% of the students put their hands up. And I said, does anybody want to share? And one says, well, I'm just afraid. And why? I said, and what are you afraid of? He said, I don't know. It's a change. So you see, I'm going into that little circular. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid because I'm afraid. So my thing is to get him now to look a little deeper. Now I want you to sit for a minute and think, what makes you feel afraid? Because imagine, as humans, we don't know how to do root cause analysis. Now, that's the nice big word for the matrix of finding, as we said, getting to the root of the problem. That's all a root cause analysis is. What is this thing causing? Where is it? Where's the cause of what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, whether it's a win or a loss? Because let's face it, if someone wins a tennis match, we're going to want to find out what his technique is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to the root cause of his wins. He's training every morning. He's training 5 hours a day. He's training with Nancy Ho. We want to find out what's making him so successful. But what we don't realize, we should also examine quote unquote failure, because that is where the biggest learning is. So I love that you say, do and know the root cause of a problem and not just focus on the superficial, because that's not deep enough to bring solution to what might be holding you back.
Absolutely.
That is a whole. Okay, we're done now. Good night, everyone.
right.
Because that is one lesson that a lot of us, if we just apply that, it can bring so much transformation in our lives, in our work, right? So,
Right.
Nancy,
Right.
tell us if you can share a little bit about some of those things when you're working with leaders. What's holding us back from winning?
It's interesting. It's one word.
I'm like, tell me.
One word. Thoughts.
Ooh, y'all know I love me some Nancy when she says that. Come on.
Okay, like you said earlier on, right? They're afraid of being afraid. They're fearful of being fearful. Actually, what it is, they are fearful of what they are thinking they are fearful about.
Wow. Woo. They're
All
fearful of
about
what they're thinking about. Wow.
about what they are fearful about what they're thinking about what they're fearful about.
It's a mouthful. It sounds like a riddle, but that's it. It's funny. It sounds like a riddle, but when you hear it, you get it right away.
Right?
Thoughts.
So all of our feelings are coming from thoughts created in the moment.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that feelings create thoughts. It cannot happen.
Please
Thought
tell them.
create,
Create feelings.
yes.
But events
Thoughts.
create thoughts that create feelings, right?
No, it's still thoughts create feelings.
Okay.
Sure.
So how do we get a thought?
Yes.
Because the reason I'm asking, because that's what I believe exactly what you believe, but I'm being the advocate because a lot of individuals would say to me, okay, Dr. White, so where do thoughts come from?
Universal.
That's right.
Thoughts begin before anything else.
Exactly.
I don't know how to explain.
We don't know how to explain that.
Correct.
Because
It's the
we were
universal
thinking when we
thoughts.
were in the womb. We were thinking when we
Right.
were infancy.
Correct.
We're thinking.
Correct.
Look at the babies.
Correct.
They'll look at you like,
Correct.
and
Right. Exactly. So we talk about thoughts.
mm-hmm.
So often, okay, so let's say some past experiences, sure, some past events, but it's still us thinking about the past events.
Right.
Bring
That
forth,
brings those feelings that we
and
start to talk about and we
right,
start to reenact.
correct. Then feelings brings upon action or behavior,
Yes. Yes.
right? So let's say this mug was really hot and I, for whatever reason, I touch it
Yeah.
and I got burned. Sure, there's an event.
Right.
Then my thought, each time I see this mug, I go, oh,
It's going to burn me.
because I thought about my last event.
Yes.
Just the one of the
The
things that
event itself means nothing without the
No.
thoughts. And
Correct.
so when you choose your thoughts, it's like, so for me, I always burn myself in the oven, and I know exactly why, because I half open it and try to take something out. Look, I've got scars every
right.
time, and I'm not learning. So obviously, and so I've gotten so many stripes and badges from military service in my kitchen that I know now to open the oven all the way.
Right.
And take my time. I finally have taken my thoughts about it, or I could have chosen the thoughts. I am never going to go use an oven again.
Correct.
Those are thoughts that I've chosen to make an action, either way, or an inaction. And an inaction for me is still an action. That's my little belief.
Correct.
You're still choosing and you're doing something. You're ignoring, you're shoving it down. That is why when someone says they're afraid because I don't know why, it's because they don't want to connect with the thought that they're thinking that's creating the feeling of fear.
Sure.
Oh, Nancy, you were just taking us down the.
All right. So as I said again last night, I have this group coaching, and then the other one of the, because it's 3 hours coaching, so there are lots that I cover. So one of the things that I talk about is like I know them very well. They've been with me for years for different programs, and I said look at everyone. I mean, I'm very like in their face, right? Do you know why you're not achieving the max of the max? Not that they're failure, all right?
Yeah.
They're all good, but the max of the max that you
Mhm.
want,
That's one.
not by whatever standard. And they
Right.
all look at me and they go like, because you are living in the past.
Woo!
More so the thoughts.
It's the only way you can be in the past and the only way we get to the present. Because the only place
Correct.
we can be right now is
Correct.
here. But the
Correct.
thoughts travel back and forth. Oh, that is profound.
Yeah. So they live in the past. And I said, the moment anyone attach their experiences, their thinking, which more so to the past, you can't help but feel low or even depressed because we
Mhm.
cannot change the past.
Right.
Even the positive stuff, okay? It's not just negative, right?
You can
Then
go back and get stuck there.
yes, then I have this attachment of a past glory. And then imagine if today I'm not having as good as that particular past glory. Let me, just term it that way. Then of course I'll be so unhappy.
Yes.
Then I beat myself up, or now I'm not good enough. I'm just not good enough. No,
Woo.
right? The good or bad experiences. In fact, there's no bad experiences. They're just experiences.
It's just experiences. Yeah.
Just expression I'm giving now. Just drop it.
Right.
It's no
Because the
longer
way we
relevant.
think about it is what makes it a good or bad one, which we
Yeah.
can choose to not give it any judgment and say, I have experienced this, and what I have learned was,
Right. Exactly. And then move on.
oh, so you see
Yeah.
why the theme of the podcast is your mindset is the key to your success. And
Right.
Nancy just told us that the most of the people she works with, what she has learned is exactly why we have this podcast. Because one word, thoughts. I hope you all are taking notes because Nancy is teaching a master class.
Oh,
So tell us, Nancy, what is your methodology method of reframing our thoughts? What does that look like in your work and in your coaching and even in your own life?
you don't have to do too much. I don't
like
mean
how simple you
much.
said that. I love that. I
Yeah, I
love this.
don't.
You said you don't have to do too much, and that's the best place to start.
Correct. I'm not talking about not putting effort. I'm
Yes.
not talking. No, a lot of people dwell again thoughts.
Ooh,
All right, that you have to do this and this and da, 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 da. Then they get overwhelmed, and then
yes,
they get stressed, and
yes.
then the brain produces cortisol, and then they get sick, and then
Ooh,
of course all
come
the rest
on.
a loop. So when I
Yes.
say you don't have to do too much, really what I mean is like you don't need to struggle with the outcome in mind. That's
Yeah.
overthinking a lot. One has to be clear about whether you call it intention,
Yes.
objective, and the purpose of your goal. Not your goals, purpose of your goals.
The purpose of it, the why. Come on. Yes.
Correct. Too many people are just focused on the goals, the goals, the goals. But when I ask why, they cannot exactly get why. All right.
There you go. I
So,
ask people, why are you here? Why are you
yeah,
here?
yeah.
I saw an ad on TV. I was kind of bored and I thought I would try this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
the
Just
why.
like I said about the golf, right? I know why I'm doing it. I want to do something very challenging,
Yeah.
to work my brain. That's it. So
But
therefore, even
it's funny, Nancy. I would love to point out that you started before you decided to go to the gun range. You decided why you wanted to do something before you decided what you were
correct.
going to do. Is there a reason for that? Why do you start with your why in mind before you go to the what? And how is that beneficial?
I often say, have the end in
In
mind.
mind.
Have the end in mind. And one of the things that I coach also, I often say, like, you want to have the idea how you want to show up as a person.
Yes.
So that's the end in mind.
Yes.
Then you come back to the here and now then you start to play the part, dress the part, be the part. You absolutely, be in that role,
Yes.
right? You don't come to then you become it. You
Right.
got to become it now, step by step, so to speak.
Yes.
That's it. So that's what I mean by you don't have to do too much. Anti-mind, how do you show up as anti-mind, the why or
And
the
start to
purpose
create
or the
the habits.
intention?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then come back, and we are all intelligent people. We all have that wisdom
Yes.
to at least know the first two steps to anything in life. And that's all we need. Why only first two steps? Because just like, we can only see 20 meters in front of us.
Yes.
We can't see more than 20 meters. When we
Right.
get to the 20 meters, then we see the next 20 meters. Then we see the
Exactly.
next 20 meters, right? It's
Right.
just it. You just life, right? I want to get
Wow.
out. The only thing I can see is my door and my gate. I
Wow.
can't see beyond that.
That
We
is
all know
wow.
that, but people want to think about what's beyond that. So that's why, remember, they become overwhelmed and the negativity sucks in, fear comes in, the kind of thinking and all that mess them up. So that's
Yes.
why I mean, you don't have to do too much in
You
that.
don't have to do too much. And that's
Don't have to do
with
too
that
much.
mindset, it really puts us in a place of, I can do this. It's within my reach. So
Yes.
let's talk a little bit about your professional paradox that you use for helping high performance professionals transcend
Right.
the silent weight of success. Yes.
Yes, I co-written this book, co-authored this book with Jack Canfield,
Yes.
and the Success Redefined. In
Yes.
fact, I'm in Hilton Beverly Hills, getting the award for this book.
Congratulations. You all
Thank
want to
you.
grab a copy. That's phenomenal. So you teach individuals how to really bring harmony in their personal and professional lives with this professional paradox theory. Can you share a little bit about what that is and how it's applied in our lives and professional lives as well?
Right. We all know about this thing called success,
Yeah.
right? There are lots of gurus that talk about it, bigger than life people that go on and on about success.
Yes.
Right? Of course, that's important.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people fail to realize, why I call it the paradox of success, what's the flip side?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like we talk about root cause, but there's not root cause, but the flip side.
The flip side of it. There is a flip
Of
side.
success.
Yeah.
And then I have a lot of C-suites that I work with. The flip side of success is unfulfillment,
Mm.
this intense stress, this burnout,
Mm.
relationship issues, both professionally and even personally.
Yes.
Health, of course, take a toll.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This is the flip side of success. I'm not being negative, but it can happen
It can happen.
for a
Yeah.
simple fact. Again, I always keep everything very simple.
Yes.
Our brain, human brain produces chemical.
Yes.
Feel good, good chemical. Feel bad, bad chemical.
It's really that simple.
Yes, it's that simple. I mean, I have neurosurgeon that referred their patients to me because they know it's not the physical, it's not the brain, that
Yeah.
affected, but it's something to do with the mind,
The
right? They
image
refer
mind. Yeah.
their patients to me, and then so whenever I tell them that they can't debate, I can't tell them anything about their work, right? I'm
Right.
not doctor in that sense, medical doctor, but I say feel good, good chemical, feel bad, bad chemical. So feel good are like serotonin,
Yeah.
oxytocin, dopamine, right? Naturally, we have that. Wow, right?
We all have it.
We are healthy, we feel good naturally.
Yeah.
But when we don't feel good, then it's cortisol.
Cortisol. Mhm.
Yes. And cortisol is slow red poison. I call it.
When we look at the stomach and
Yes.
say, what is this? It's the
All right. So
cortisol.
it would then attack our organs, attack our, a lower immune system, or even our new cells growth is not as good, right? We all have new cells at a certain period of time.
Yes.
So then we become sick and become not well and so on and so forth. So that's the paradox of sex, means they do not realize until they suffer from it. They try to get a fix for some people, and some don't even get a fixed.
Wow.
But there's no point fixing it at that. In an autonomic nervous system, there's sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system.
Right.
So the parasympathetic nervous system is where people get migraine and all that hypertension and all that, right? We all know that. And they go about fixing that. It cannot be fixed. And they fix it with what? Drugs. Prescribed drugs.
And it's not fixed. You just you just don't.
Symptoms.
It's just numbing it. It's still happening. The symptom is your body saying, I'm off. You just quieting the talking, but your body's still malfunctioning.
Correct. Like high blood pressure, pop in tablets to control that. But then what happened when you're done with the tablets, so to speak?
And the tablet is not exactly.
Yeah. So we have to go to the
root.
Sympathetic nervous system.
Sympathetic, yeah.
That's the active part.
Yes.
That's how I help my clients to get into the sympathetic nervous system, to make those changes. Then in the parasympathetic nervous system, it's called homeostasis.
Yes.
Balance.
Yes.
So you don't really have to do too much again.
She tells us that you don't have to do too much. She takes a step. I can't wait to meet you in person. It's just you're like the person that I work to be. Oh my goodness. So let's talk a little bit. You talk a lot about the disconnect between external success and inner fulfillment.
Yes.
Right. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because I think that is confused. You've already touched on it a little bit, but what is the difference really between the two?
I think the world tend to focus a lot on the external, the medal or the trophy, all right, what we call that.
Yes.
Not that it is not a good thing, but when you're just so focused on the external, again, why? Why do you want a trophy? Why do you want that medal? Right? You don't have the purpose of the goal. You just want that goal. I get that. Why? Then it become very, sure. It looks like the person is driven, but this driven without a sense of the why.
Without the why, yeah.
Yes. Then that's where burnout and overwhelmed and, overstretching, God knows why, Because you don't have the why, so you don't know why, And then even after they have achieved the medal, they achieve the trophy, they achieve that whatever prize.
Right.
Probably good for that moment.
Yes.
And after that, what? Either they go for the next chase, or now they become depressed because what else do I go for now?
Right. I've done everything. Wow. Correct. So how do you help individuals master that work life? I love to say it's kind of a myth, but it still exists. Work-life balance, which to me is truly just, we can experience that burnout or we could feel stress. The same thing you talked about with the nervous systems and how we tap into having more of the good hormones over the fight, cortisol. Right. How do you help individuals prioritize their boundaries, self-care, and just creating that balance and harmony in their life between work and their personal life, or just between life that's here and themselves?
Sure. Now, first thing first, all of us got to start right from the beginning. How do I mean? For example, there are salespeople that come to me and being coached, and they said, "Oh, I kind of messed up the sales process. Now, how do I fix it?" I said, "I'm not wanting to be negative. It becomes a bit difficult. You got to start right from the beginning."
Yes.
and everything else will flow through, and even the objections and all that is easier to overcome.
Right.
So
With a
how do I mean
positive
by
thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
how do I mean by start right from the beginning for our life? First, we need a personal vision statement,
Come on.
right? We
Right.
all must have a personal vision statement. All right, you can call it life purpose, but more than life purpose.
Yes. It's a
So my
clear
core
vision.
values,
Yes.
right? Are my core values. Then what do I choose to do?
Yes.
The activities, being either actor or singer, an engineer or entrepreneur, whatever role, is just a choice. But because it's coming from our personal vision, therefore, how we play out in that role becomes very meaningful.
Yes. So,
Wow.
wow.
I
And
know.
so I tell people that's why for me, mindset is married to the conversation of purpose. And you've
Mhm.
emphasized that so well. I bet everybody's like, oh, that must be Dr. Lisa's really good friend. They must hang out a lot because she sounds just like she's saying reinforcing a lot of what I speak about in my own world. And so when we talk about just being resilient, what are some of how do you define resilience? Because I find that's another word like success that could be so vague or maybe defined differently by everyone. And you teach on the power of being resilient in the face of adversity, which is one of the biggest themes of our podcast, and how to overcome setbacks. What does that resilience mindset look like for Nancy Ho?
So let me define resilience to start with.
Yeah.
Right? Resilience are defined as the ability to bounce back quickly. All right. For whatever reason we trip, the ability to bounce back quickly, and that's not enough. And we continue to strive and thrive.
Not just thrive, but not just strive, but thrive.
And thrive.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. We're going to keep going higher. Yeah.
Correct. That's resilience to me.
Wow.
So it's an attitude. It's not, these are the steps to become resilient.
Right.
It's an attitude. So once you have the attitude, the know-how comes in. Because all of us are doing something we are good at.
Yes.
We don't go do something else that we are not good at, we are not wanting to do it,
Right.
for whatever, right? I won't go and become a singer tomorrow. I mean, why don't I do that? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right? So we'll be doing what we are good at. And the other thing I often does when they said, "Oh, I'm in midlife crisis. I don't know if I'm changing my career and so on and so forth," right? So it says, "Okay, so Nancy, help me," So I said, "All right, fine. First question, ask yourself, what are you naturally good at?"
Yeah.
Naturally good at. All right. Forget about qualification. Forget about experiences. Just what you're naturally good at.
What do you enjoy?
Yes, but enjoyment will come naturally when you're doing
You're
something.
good at something and you're being successful.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So I'm a good dancer. I'm not a good singer.
And I'm the other way around. I can sing, but I can't dance.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll be a
So
backup
we can make a band,
Yes, right. And I'm your backup dancer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you naturally good at? So when you do things that you're good at, you enjoy.
Yes.
Right. But if I'm going to, no. I want to be positive. Of course, I have a voice. I can sing. Alisa can sing. Why can't I not sing? That is up your task.
Yes.
It's a struggle. There's struggle and there's struggle. Right? The sort of struggle that.
And that will cause that cortisol to get high.
Correct.
Let's just be real.
Right. Yes, absolutely right. So we have to look at things. We talk about resilience, right?
Yes.
So even we trip and we fall, we bounce back quickly. We continue to strive and thrive because we are doing things that we are good at, especially we are naturally good at.
Yes.
Then know what to do.
That's right.
We
So
all
let
know.
me ask you this. When it
Mhm.
comes to resilience, let's just say a cancer diagnosis, how do you apply the same principle to bouncing back with that? What would that look like?
Okay, this is good. This is a bit loaded.
I
This is
know, right? I ask hard questions. Sometimes I want to pretend I'm Barbara Walters.
again, right? If somebody has stage 4 cancer versus
Mhm.
stage 1, it's very different,
Very different. Yeah,
right? So that's why I
right.
say it's loaded, right? So
It
if it's
is.
stage 1, yes, we know you go for radiotherapy, or if they need chemotherapy, it's easier to sort of be calmer and composed about it.
Yeah,
But if I stage 4, but get real, right? These are facts. It's not having this fake positivity.
right.
All right.
But you can still
And
be
spiritual.
resilient.
Yes.
You can.
Then
It's a mindset.
sure. Then the other thing I'm gonna say is not about just about the mindset. Then that's where spirituality comes in.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have to put tools in your resilience toolbox.
Correct. All
I
right. And
love that.
spirituality, I'm not referring just to a specific religion or
Religion, but
religion, right?
spirituality.
All
Yes,
right. Spirituality comes in because we know nothing is permanent,
exactly.
right? So,
Yeah,
if I know for some reason, it's really going to be very tough because it's really stage 4 and doctor have told me
right,
X, Y, Z.
right.
Then I'm not going to say, no, I'm going to continue. And
No,
real.
but I would say you can still apply it. It just looks differently
Yes, that's why I said spirituality got to come in.
because now cancer is part of the deal. And I'll say this, 2021, I suffered a very life-threatening situation where my blood count was at 6.2.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it was, that was COVID. We were in a hype of COVID and I was suffering and didn't want to go to the hospital because I'm like, this is going to stop and I'm not going to. But anyway, we end up there, in the hospital, hospitalized, blood transfusion, and my blood count is not coming back up because I keep losing blood. And I remember I was working on my international best-selling book, and it was done. And for me, in that moment, resilience looked like I have to take care of myself. I have to be treated. I have to be there. This is a must. I have to sort of slow down the pace a little bit. But I also told myself I don't have to stop because I still have breath.
Sure.
And
Yes.
so
Right.
I was, going with the doctors. I was there. And when the book launched, I was on Zoom in the hospital for an
Mm,
hour. I didn't stay on Zoom forever. I didn't think I did an hour. I certainly didn't. But it was like, are you going to do the Zoom? And I was like, I'm not sure. But the morning I woke up and I was like, it's hour by hour. And I had 2 to 3 hours and I was feeling okay. So I got on Zoom and I did the book launch. And, for me, that's when the same principle you're teaching is if you know you're going to die tomorrow, if someone tells you, I mean, I can't tell you how many people I know. The doctor said you got 2 months, 5 months, and 20 years later, they're still here. My grandmother-in-law, she was one of those, and she's now, they told her that when she was like in her 80s, and she's 102 now, right? And she never did any surgery, but that was her choice. But my point is, resilience could still come in. You can still push through. You're not going to do as much because if you have breath, you are to keep moving forward. You might move forward
absolutely.
differently than you had planned. Maybe
Sure.
I think I'm going to go rock climbing on the weekends and doing podcasts every day. But
Sure.
now because I am doing chemotherapy, I might not do podcast at all, and I definitely can rock climb, but I can still have conversation with someone, and
Sure.
maybe I can have someone put the camera when I have energy, I can turn it on and I record these messages that I want to give to the world. I might not interview the great Nancy Ho any more like I did, but I will not stop. And that for me is still the same principle you taught us. It's pivoting and saying,
Yes.
I'm going to bounce back. Bounce back is still bouncing back because ultimately in a less intensive situation, I feel like it's easier to, as you say, it's very different if it's 4 or 1, or if it's no cancer at all.
Yeah.
But it's the same mindset that has to be set that, you know what, I can pivot. How can I say?
No, absolutely.
Me,
Yeah, right.
that is, how can I pivot and
Yes.
still be me, even though now I have this extra thing of cancer treatment or no husband or a lost dog or my house
Get it.
burned down. It's a
Yes.
choice.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, right. And I'm with you for that. But why I use the word spirituality,
I agree.
right?
Big deal.
So yes, life goes on as long as this life goes on,
Yes.
right? That's why I said stage 1 and stage 4 is completely different. So I was
Yes.
referring to someone that's really stage 4, and a doctor have said to
Very,
whatever.
very
Of course, we
different.
all have known that there are doctors that say, you only have a year, and some people go on for another 5 more years and still going,
Yes.
right? Somebody says go on a year and then they're done within a month, right? So no answer to that. And I don't want to give my comments about stuff like that.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say, if that happens for a stage 4, the spirituality is like you're no longer attached just to your physical body. You're having that bigger view about so-called life.
Yes.
I'm not going religion, and life is about a circle. There's no beginning, there's no end.
Yes.
So you want to talk about mindset that has to take a completely a different view altogether.
Yes.
Right? Therefore, even death is no death. It's
I
just
agree.
change form.
Change form.
Yeah, it's just change of form, right? From
Yes.
form to formless.
Yes.
Right? From
It's like
here to go back home, whatever that means.
whatever that is. Yes.
Yes,
I remember
exactly. Yeah.
in Think and Grow Rich, he talks about water and steam.
Yes.
It just
correct.
changed form.
Right. Change
Yeah.
form. So that's what I meant by if it's stage 4.
I love it.
Coach it. I coach the person differently, and spiritual had to come in.
Yes.
Because we are so attached as the physical body and we are on earth.
But we're so much more than that. Someone
Correct.
said, we're not a soul in a body. We are a body in a soul.
I put it another way. We are a spiritual being having a human
experience. Yes.
And not a human being having
a spiritual experience.
Exactly.
Never yet. I love that. I love that. One of the things that I love. Yeah. One of the things that I really love that you talk about, because this is my area, I talk and coach, and a lot of the people who listen to the podcast are some of my clients that are pivoting in their career. What are some of the key signs you would say that indicate someone might need to be pivoting in their career, making a career change? When do they know, hey, time's up?
I had somebody called me yesterday. All right. He says, I know you have said that, Nancy, and I just want to hear it again. All right. All she wanted was some kind of assurance. He says, I want to resign, and can I know I have your back? Right. Of course, my first answer of course, I said that all the time. I said that to my clients.
I have your back. Yeah.
Of course, they have my back. But I said, wait a minute. All right. Why do you want to resign? Why do you change? Are you changing because you want to run away?
Right.
Yeah. If it's a runaway thing because something happened, or your appraiser doesn't look that good, or your P&L, that you're responsible, the guy at the top is, putting your head on the chopping board.
Yes.
Like, hey, I better run away, right? Because it's too much. That's not pivoting. That's called runaway. Right? It's called runaway. You want to escape, right?
Yes.
Fight or flight.
Yes.
a flight. So you got to really be very truthful,
Absolutely.
right? So it's not again a straight answer, but being truthful that why? Why do you want to
Why do you
change?
want to change? And that
Yeah, why?
goes back to what you said. What's the root of this
Yes,
decision? What's the cause?
exactly.
What's the why?
Correct, right?
Right.
So why do you want to change? So I went through with her, blah, 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 and all that. So I said, sure, if this place is, you feel that it's no longer for you, the match is not there, let's say the values doesn't, aligned, sure, go somewhere else. There's always a place, right?
Right.
But if it's run away, then you had better deal with this
Because it's
because,
coming with you. It's going to come running
all
right
right,
with you.
correct. Just like I have dealt with a lot of ladies in relationship.
Yeah.
Sure, if the relationship is not working, get out. But then
Yeah.
back to your question, how do you know it's really not working?
And have you worked it?
Yeah, yeah. How much have you worked out? Is it out of being being emo, that emotional comes in,
Yes.
and again the flight thing. So one has to be very honest with themselves. It's not a straight answer again,
It's not a straight answer. Yes. I
complex
love
then.
it. I love
Mhm.
it. Nancy, wow. So we do something called flip the script here on the show where we ask you a few standard questions just to see your view on it. And the first one that we ask in that game is what was one pivotal moment in your life where you had to make a mindset shift? What was it and how did it turn out for you?
My health scare at 27.
Mm,
27 years old. I mean, look, I'm 60. I'm
you're
this way. So you can
beautiful. We can tell.
imagine, but in my
Yes,
20s, I'll be so feisty and so
you
on and so
still
forth.
are.
But that was so feisty. I
Yes.
mean, I was just so aggressive, right? So
Mm.
young and everything else, right? So it was the health scare that got me, take a step back. Why did that happen? If I didn't even have a pimple on my face as a teenager, how on earth that happens? And
Wow.
again, back to the root cause, I said, no surprise. At a time, yes, success came early for me. At
Yeah.
25 years old, I was already successful, but
Right.
I was always angry, pissed off, unhappy with the world.
Wow.
Ego was huge, not proud, but I'm glad it came early for me to realize it. Yeah.
Yes.
So that was the house scare that got me like, hey, have a check-in and rewrite my script for my life.
Rewrite your script. Wow.
Yes.
What did rewriting your script look like?
That's why I use the word spiritual. Yes, correct. At that time, I mean, especially this part of the world called Singapore, right? Material thing is big thing.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have the material, but then, I was chasing after those material.
Yes. Yes.
You can have material, but you're not
But
chasing
still be
after
on
material.
not having that internal fulfillment you speak of. Yeah.
Correct. So it was that way, that, the ego and all that. So spiritual came in, and that's why I started my spiritual journey. I was going to Bali and swim with the dolphin and all that.
I love it. I should try.
Grounding.
I think I'm just gonna do that, even though I don't need it. Just make it
Yeah.
up and do it. That sounds fun for me.
So a lot of so that changed me, and that have been great. In fact, I became even more successful.
Right, because you cleared those energies that needed to be cleared.
Correct. More successful, but with that fulfillment, with
You
that meaning.
right. So that means
Yes,
success
correct.
was easy to bring and manifest and attract because inside the internal fulfillment was
Correct.
there. I
Yes,
love that.
correct.
What is your definition of success?
My definition of success is, at the end of the day, we leave this place just a little better than we first came.
Ah, I love you see, she always keeps it. What did she say? Simple.
Yeah, I don't have to do. You don't have to do too much.
I love it. I love that spirit. I'm going to think of you when I see people who are just, I'm like, why can't they just be like Nancy? Just keep it simple. You don't want to do too
It's
much.
simple. Yeah, I have to say I'm a very simple person.
I
Keep
love
it
it.
simple. Just keep it simple. Simplicity is all that it counts, right?
It's all that counts. I absolutely love it. Nancy, we're coming to, before we get you to tell the audience how to connect with you, this has just been such a wonderful, beautifully energetic conversation. We have something called Mindset Bites to go where you get about 90 seconds just on the camera. I step away from the microphone and you tell the audience what is your mantra and one mindset, whatever you want to tell them, as if it was your last time to say anything to the world. What would you say? So I'm going to mute my mic and let you go first.
Right. To contact me, easy. All right. You can go to LinkedIn and search for me, or simply you could email nancy@nancyho.net. That's so easy to remember, right? Simple. nancy@nancyho.net. Now, my one mantra is simply this: do not do anything that you are not proud of. That's it. Right? Just do not do anything you'll not be proud of yourself.
Oh, wow.
That's simple.
I'm going to take my microphone and I'm going to drop it for you.
No, again, isn't that simple?
It is simple because when you think about it, I ask audiences sometimes when
You're muted now. Sorry, you're muted now.
yes, I
Did
say
you drop your microphone in the
I
water?
drop my microphone. This is why they say don't drop the microphone when you're podcasting. But you said it so perfectly. But I always say to individuals when I'm on a podcast or something, and I say, what do you think about yourself when you're sitting on the toilet bowl? Or if you want a less graphic explanation, when you're laying back on your bed, like, it's been a long day. What are you thinking about yourself? And those are the moments when you find yourself saying, I should not have done this. I should not have done that. And that's those moments where you might not be proud of what you have done.
Exactly.
So profoundly well said. Say it again, one more time for us, because some people in the back didn't hear it.
All right. Do not do anything that you're not proud of yourself. You're not proud of yourself. Don't ever do that.
Don't ever do it. And to connect with her, she is going to have all her info here in the description, wherever you're watching or listening to the podcast. We will have all the links to Nancy's website. Please go connect with her, follow in our LinkedIn, find her Facebook and Instagram right on the website where she is. We'll also have her links in the bio, and let her know you heard us here. And let her know that you are tapped in with the work she's doing and how transformational this episode has been to you, as it has for me. I learned how to keep it simple. And how to remember that my thoughts can actually be the one thing that stops me from my success, which you all know that's what we say here. And it's really not that hard. It is simple. Find the root cause and begin with the end in mind, and work your way to becoming the person that achieves the ending you have envisioned for yourself. Right. Simple. Must have a vision statement. Must have a vision statement for yourself and your life, for the outcomes where you want. That includes what? Who you are and what you're good at. And then when you know who you are and what you're good at, how do you want to manifest that in the world? Simple. A lot of people make it complex. It's really just simple. Simple. Nancy, thank you for being such a light, a brilliant light. And I know we were going to have you back on this podcast and in our communities again. We thank you for coming in all the way from Singapore to bless the entire world with your radiance, your love, and your light. And of course, a transformational mindset disrupting conversation. Listen, disruptors, this is it. We unfortunately are pressing pause with Nancy, but again, the conversation continues. Find her wherever she is. Remember that everything begins with your thoughts. Think, speak, do, become. And remember, keep it simple and don't do anything you're not proud of. I'm Dr. Alisa, and this is my new friend and sister, Nancy, saying bye for now.
Thank you. Bye. Cheers.